Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another video. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you will be updated on all my future content. So this video is going to be a brief review of long division. 3085 divided by 5 is my first example problem. And I'm going to go through step by step how to solve that problem. Alright, so step 1, we want to divide by the smallest digit possible. Only rule is the digit inside the square here has to be bigger than, it has to be greater than or equal to the digit outside the square. So it could be the same as the digit outside, or it could be bigger, but it can't be smaller. So we cannot start with one digit by one digit division because 5 is bigger than 3. Like I said, the digit inside the square that we start with, it either has to be equal to or bigger than the digit outside. Now, 30 divided by 5, we can do that. We can start out with two digit by one digit division. So we're going to do 30 divided by 5. We're going to figure out how many groups of 5 go into 30. So I'm going to count by 5s here. Now, if you know this in your head, if you know how many groups of 5 go into 30 in your head, you don't need to count by 5s, but this is for the students that don't immediately know what 30 divided by 5 is. Here is a way to figure that out. So we'll count by 5s. 5, that's one group of 5. 10, two groups of 5. 15, three groups of 5. 20, four groups of 5. 25, five groups of 5. 30, six groups of 5. So 5 goes into 30 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So 30 divided by 5 equals 6. Now we were able to get exactly to 30 counting by 5s. So 30 is what we subtract to find our remainder. Pretty sure there's not going to be a remainder here. I'm not pretty sure, I know, but 30 minus 30 equals 0, no remainder. Next step, we bring down the 8 so that 0 becomes an 8. Next, we want to count how many groups of 5 go into 8. So 5, so far we have one group of 5. Now, if I count by 5 again, I'll be too far, right? 10 is more than 8. We already passed the number 8. So I was only able to get one full group of 5 within 8. So 8 divided by 5 equals 1. Now, since 5 was the closest I could get to 8 without going over, 5 is what we subtract to find our remainder. 8 minus 5 equals 3. Now the final step is we bring down the 5. Now that 3 becomes 35. So now we got to figure out how many groups of 5 go into 35. Again, if you already know what 35 divided by 5 is, you do not need to skip count. But for the students that don't know, a way to figure that out is to count by 5s. See how many groups of 5 go into 35. So 5, that's one group so far. 10, we're at two groups of 5. 15, we're at three groups of 5. 20, so far we are at 4 groups of 5. 25, we're at 5 groups of 5. 30, we were at 6 groups of 5. 35, we were at 7 groups of 5. We had to count by 5s 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to get to 35. Why are we talking about cars during this live stream? This is a math live stream. Let's stay on topic here. So 35 divided by 5 equals 7. Now, counting by fives, we were able to land right on 35. So I'm going to do 35 minus 35 to see if we have any remainders. 35 minus 35 equals 0. And we have our final answer. 3,085 divided by 5 equals 617. I'm going to do one more example. For the next example, you know what? I'm going to show you what to do if we have a remainder. Let's say we have division that comes out to a mixed number. I'm going to show you how to solve for that. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I appreciate you. Please hit the like button. So 708 divided by 5. That is my example problem. I don't know if I'll have time for 2 more examples, but I'll do at least one. So we always want to start out by dividing by the smallest number possible. Only rule is the number inside the square has to be equal to or bigger than the number outside the square. Shout out to whoever hit the like button. I appreciate you. Now we can actually start out with 1 digit by 1 digit division for this problem because 7 is bigger than 5. So we're going to start out with 7 divided by 5. Figure out how many groups of 5 go into 7. 5, 1 group of 5. Now if I count by 5 again, I'm already too far. So I was able to get 1 full group of 5 within 7. So 7 divided by 5 equals 1. Now to find our remainder, because there will be a remainder, we have to subtract 5 because 5 was as close as we could get to 7 without going over. So 7 minus 5 equals 2. We have a remainder of 2. Next, we're bringing down the 0, and that 2 is going to become a 20. So now we got to figure out how many groups of 5 go into 20. If we already know what 20 divided by 5 is, well, the chat just put in the answer to 20 divided by 5. But for those that don't know, I'm going to skip count by 5s. Again, if you already know the answer, you don't need to skip count. But this is a way to figure out how many groups of 5 go into 20 if you don't know the answer. 5, that's 1 group. 10, 2 groups of 5. 15, 3 groups of 5. 20, 4 groups of 5. So 20 divided by 5 equals 4. Shout out to the people in the chat that were able to come up with that answer right away that did not need to skip count. Impressive. But shout out to the people that did need to skip count too, because, you know, there's multiple roads to get to the right answer. You know, you don't always have to all do it the same way. Most important thing is getting the answer right. All right. 20 minus 20, 0 equals 0. There is no remainder. Next, we bring down the 8. So here, toward the end of this, you're going to get to see what happens if it ends up being a mixed number because, spoiler alert, we're going to have a remainder here. So, how many groups of 5 go into 8? 5, that's 1 group of 5. If I count by 5 again, I'm too far, right? We were only able to get 1 full group of 5 within 8. 8 divided by 5 equals 1. Now we have to subtract 5 from 8 to get a remainder. And skip counting, 5 was as close as we could get to 8 without going over. So 8 minus 5 is 3. All right, so here's how we figure out the mixed number. We ended up with a remainder of 3. Now, when our answer comes out to a mixed number, here's how we figure it out. The number we're dividing by is our denominator. You're right, the remainder is 3, but let me show you how to convert this to a mixed number. So the number we're dividing by, that's our denominator in the fraction. We're dividing by 5, so 5 is the denominator in the fraction. Now, our numerator is our remainder. What is our remainder? Somebody in the chat already said what our remainder is. 3. 3 is our remainder. 3 is our numerator. So we have our final answer. 708 divided by 5 equals 141 and 3/5. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know you guys wanted me to do one more problem. I am going to have to start getting ready for the school day. It's 7:22. My school day officially starts at 8:05, you know. Do I have time for one more example problem? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking. Put a 1 in the chat if you want one more problem, or put a 2 in the chat if you're comfortable calling it a video. 1 in the chat if you want one more problem. 2 in the chat if you're comfortable calling it a video. All right, 1 in the chat. You want one more example problem? All right, final example problem of the video. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. It's the Mr. C. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. All right, here we go. This next one's also going to have a remainder. 827 divided by 5. Shout out to the person that says they love my singing. That's the first time I ever heard that. Usually when I sing, I get the opposite reaction. I get, stop singing, you're horrible. But I appreciate the person in the chat that actually told me they like my singing. All right. 827 divided by 5. We start out by dividing by the smallest number possible. And we can start out with 1 digit by 1 digit division, because 8 is bigger than 5. Now for this one, I'm not going to do the skip counting. This one's going to be for all those that are really fluent with their division. So 8 divided by 5 equals 1. 1 times 5 equals 5. That's what we subtract. We have our remainder of 3. Bringing down the 2. 32 divided by 5 equals 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 32 minus 30 equals 2. We have a remainder of 2. Bring down the 7. 27 divided by 5 equals 5. 5 times 5 equals 25. 5 times 5 equals 25. We have to subtract that. We have a remainder of 2. So now, it didn't end in a whole number, so what do we do? Well, the number we divided by is our denominator. What do we divide by? We divided by 5. 5 is our denominator. Our remainder is our numerator. What's our numerator? What's our remainder? Our remainder is 2. So 2 is our numerator. So we have our final answer. 827 divided by 5 equals 165 and 2/5. All right, that is my video for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. God bless. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. And if there is an area of math or reading that you're having difficulty with, put that in the comments, and I will do a future video on that skill. Until next time, this is Mr. Camilleri, signing off.